6 months. That's all it took. A drink that had kids lining up for hours, parents paying $20 a bottle, supermarkets limiting purchases, shelves completely wiped clean. And then suddenly, the same product sitting untouched in clearance bins. From sold-out chaos to discount stickers. From viral obsession to overstock pallets. How does a brand go from impossible to find to impossible to sell? Was Prime just a hype cycle? Or was it a case study in what happens when influencer marketing scales faster than real demand? This is the story of how Prime went from sold out everywhere to struggling for momentum. Prime Hydration launched in January 2022, founded by YouTubers Logan Paul and KSI. Both creators had built massive global audiences over a decade. Combined, they commanded tens of millions of followers across YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. When they announced they were teaming up to create a sports drink, the launch wasn't just a product release, it was an internet event. From day one, Prime wasn't marketed like a traditional beverage. It was positioned as a cultural moment. The brand leaned heavily on social media virality, limited supply drops, influencer collaborations, and high-energy branding. Within weeks, demand exploded. In the United Kingdom especially, scenes inside supermarkets began circulating online. Teenagers ran through aisles. Stores introduced one bottle per customer rules. Some retailers locked Prime behind counters. Videos of near-empty shelves spread rapidly on TikTok, further amplifying the frenzy. Scarcity drove demand even higher. On resale platforms, bottles were listed for $15, $20, sometimes even more. In some cases, multi-packs were flipped for over $100. Whether those listings consistently sold at those prices is debated, but the perception was clear. Prime was valuable. That perception mattered more than the drink itself. By late 2022, Prime expanded distribution into the United States and additional international markets. Major retailers like Walmart, Target, Asda, and others began stocking it. The brand also secured major sports partnerships, including sponsorship deals with football clubs and high-profile athletes. One of the biggest visibility moments came when Prime became the official sports drink partner of Arsenal Football Club. The message was clear. This wasn't just a YouTuber side project. It was positioning itself as a legitimate competitor in the sports hydration industry. Estimates suggested the company generated hundreds of millions in retail sales during its first year. Logan Paul publicly stated that Prime did over $250 million in retail revenue in 2022 alone. By 2023, some reports suggested retail sales approached or exceeded $1 billion globally. While retail revenue is not the same as company profit, the scale of the brand's early success was undeniable. But rapid growth introduces risk. The first phase of Prime's success was driven by controlled scarcity. Limited supply kept demand artificially intense. When distribution widened dramatically in 2023, that scarcity disappeared, and with it, some of the urgency. Once shelves were consistently stocked, the buying behavior shifted. The product was no longer rare, it was available everywhere. The viral hunt element faded. At the same time, consumer curiosity settled. Many customers had tried the drink. Some became repeat buyers, others did not. Online, reviews were mixed. Some consumers praised the flavors. Others criticized the taste or sweetness. Prime's hydration formula used coconut water and artificial sweeteners, differentiating it from traditional sports drinks like Gatorade or Powerade. That difference attracted some customers, but didn't convert everyone. Meanwhile, competitors didn't stand still. The sports drink market is dominated by legacy brands with decades of distribution power, supply chain optimization, and brand loyalty. Competing long-term requires more than attention. It requires repeat consumption. By mid to late 2023, social media videos began circulating again, but this time with a different tone. Instead of empty shelves, viewers saw fully stocked displays. In some stores, pallets remained untouched for extended periods. In others, discount tags appeared. Clearance pricing began showing up in certain markets. The narrative online shifted quickly. The same internet that fueled Prime's rise began speculating about its decline. TikTok videos comparing sold-out chaos to stacked discount bins went viral. But what actually happened? First, oversupply. When a product scales aggressively based on explosive demand forecasts, production often ramps up significantly. Beverage manufacturing involves large batch commitments. Retail distribution agreements require inventory. If demand slows even slightly below projections, excess stock accumulates quickly. Second, hype cycles naturally cool. Influencer-driven products often experience extreme peaks followed by normalization. The initial sales wave includes loyal fans, collectors, and trend-driven buyers. Once that group is saturated, sales must be sustained by mainstream repeat customers. That transition is difficult. Third, scrutiny increased. In 2023, Prime faced regulatory attention regarding caffeine content in its energy drink line. US lawmakers raised concerns over marketing energy drinks to younger audiences. Some schools reportedly banned the drink. While the hydration version and energy version are different products, media coverage blurred the lines for some consumers. Additionally, certain consumer watchdog groups questioned labeling claims. Lawsuits were filed in some jurisdictions alleging misleading marketing regarding ingredients and benefits. It's important to note that lawsuits do not automatically imply wrongdoing, but legal headlines affect brand perception. Perception matters in consumer goods. By 2024, retail analysts noted that while Prime remained widely distributed, sales velocity had slowed compared to peak hype periods. In some markets, retailers reduced shelf space allocation. In others, promotional pricing became more common. That doesn't necessarily mean the brand failed. It means it entered the reality phase of consumer packaged goods, where repeat purchase rate, not virality, determines survival. Logan Paul and KSI continued promoting the product across social platforms, but audience behavior evolves. What once felt like an exclusive drop became just another option in the beverage aisle. There's also a larger macroeconomic factor. Consumer spending tightened globally in 2023 and 2024 amid inflation pressures. Premium-priced beverages face more resistance in tighter economic environments. When a product is priced above competitors, it must justify that difference through taste, function, or brand loyalty. Prime's early success was driven by brand loyalty. Sustained success requires habitual consumption. Some reports suggested that certain international expansions were scaled back or adjusted based on demand. Retail clearance activity, while not universal, became visible enough online to shape a broader narrative. And in modern markets, narrative spreads faster than quarterly sales data. So, did Prime collapse? No formal bankruptcy, no public confirmation of financial distress, no official announcement of failure. But the visible shift from scarcity to surplus tells a different story, one about the volatility of influencer-powered product launches. The beverage industry operates on thin margins and massive volume. Brands like Coca-Cola and PepsiCo dominate through logistics, retail relationships, and decades of consumer behavior research. Breaking into that system is possible, but sustaining momentum requires more than viral marketing. Prime proved that attention can generate hundreds of millions in sales rapidly. It also demonstrated how quickly momentum can normalize once novelty fades. This isn't necessarily a downfall, it's a case study in scale. When supply expands faster than organic demand stabilizes, shelves fill. When shelves fill, urgency drops. When urgency drops, price promotions begin. And once discounting becomes common, the premium perception weakens. That sequence can happen within a year. Prime's journey highlights a broader trend, the power and limits of influencer commerce. Social media can ignite demand faster than traditional advertising ever could, but it can't guarantee repeat behavior. Sustainable brands are built on habit. The early phase of Prime relied on excitement, collectability, and cultural relevance. The later phase required consistency, flavor preference, and functional loyalty. The shift from sold out to discount bins wasn't a single event. It was a gradual transition from hype-driven demand to market-tested reality. For Logan Paul and KSI, Prime remains one of the most successful influencer product launches ever. Few creator-led brands reach nine-figure retail sales so quickly. But the story also serves as a reminder. Viral growth is not the same as durable growth. In consumer goods, attention opens the door. Operations determine what happens next. As retail shelves stabilized and social media moved on to the next trend, Prime entered its next chapter. One defined not by chaos and resale listings, but by standard competitive pressures. The beverage aisle is crowded. Shelf space is earned weekly. Brands that can't maintain turnover lose positioning. Whether Prime evolves into a long-term player or remains a case study in influencer hype cycles will depend on repeat purchase behavior, distribution strategy, and brand management in the years ahead. What is clear is this: the journey from impossible to find to hard to move can happen faster than most people expect. In business, explosive success creates equally explosive expectations. And sometimes the cost of success isn't failure, it's sustainability. If you want more deep dives into viral brands, business hype cycles, and the real numbers behind internet-fueled empires, subscribe to Cost of Success.